Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 13th episode of the Realms of Pugmire. I'm going to go around the table and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Thomas, playing Sheen.
Hi, I'm Michael, playing Bernard.
I'm Mike, playing Tagbard.
I'm Liam, and I play Tucker.
I'm Christine, and I play Vesper.
Last time, you traveled through the sewers and found the laboratories of the rats. Holding Vesper, you freed her, defeated the rats, and escaped with their prisoners. Excuse me. You spoke to the police dogs and informed them of where the lab was. You returned to the tavern and inn to relax, and we're going to meet Bethany the next day, as she wanted to talk to you about a few things. So, we begin there. It is the next morning. You are fully healed from the previous day's engagements.
Okay.
Excuse me. And have woken up at Scruffy's bar at the Old Dog Tavern.
Perhaps after we meet with Bethany, we should check in with the police dogs and see if they found anything else in the sewers.
I thought you also had something to tell us.
I do have something to tell you. Later.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind getting in touch with them. Especially because it sounds like some of the bulldogs might be more inclined to help us out with the retriever problem. At least they didn't seem too satisfied with the militias being formed.
As you head downstairs, you see Scruffy getting some breakfast ready.
That smells good.
That's good. It's good. That's all we got.
I assume we're going to meet Bethany at Samantha's house.
She was going to meet you here.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Then we'll hang out.
Give us time to eat. Is there anybody else in the bar?
There's a couple people here and there. Regulars mostly. Mugs and bowls of water.
Yep.
As he passes out the appropriate dish to the appropriate person.
So, come close. Something that I think you all need to hear. Before I start talking, I'd like to check, is there anybody that seems to be listening into our conversation?
Let's find out what's your notice.
That's wisdom? Dex?
Yep.
So just +2 my proficiency.
Okay. Doesn't seem like there are any.
We need to be very, very careful about who we talk to and what we're doing. I heard retrievers while I was captive. I don't know if they're in cahoots with the rats directly, but I heard them upstairs in the lab. I think that means the retrievers are even more dangerous than we thought.
That's not surprising. They need to avoid the areas where the unseen, frothing nasties came out.
But it also means perhaps that they are going to use the rats to further their hold on the city. If people are afraid, they're going to run right into the paws of somebody they think can protect them.
Aye.
And if the retrievers are the ones pulling the strings...
And they'll probably use this as an excuse to drive more rats out. Blame them all.
Exactly. We need to be very, very careful.
I think we need to go back down there, figure out if there's a sewer entrance into Terry's compound, and
There was the stairs that were up.
wring his neck.
I think we do need to go back. So loath as I am to say that.
But the stairs are probably destroyed or barred by this point.
It's worth the attempt.
Well, yes.
I would rather know than guess.
Maybe.
I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just saying, in all likelihood.
We still need to find out what's going on up north, though.
I imagine that these are probably related.
I
I would say they probably aren't, and the retrievers are just capitalizing on a very good opportunity.
drawing the city watch off.
Whole entire towns disappearing.
I don't think that's the retrievers.
It could
I think
be.
it's the rats.
It could be the Ramaraks too.
The Ramaraks are on the other side of the river.
They were on the other side of the river. So were we.
Well,
I think if they can build a giant walk-in suit of armor, they can figure out boat technology.
I think we need to check the sewers before we head up north. I think we need to gather more information before we leave the city regardless.
Well, we'll see what Bethany has to say.
As Bethany arrives, Scruffy, breakfast please. Ah. Friends,
Greetings.
Morning.
so I have a contact and I want you to meet him.
Alright.
We will be going to the plastic district, if that's alright, or the plastic quarter.
Who is he? Who's he with?
The police dogs.
Alright.
I'd rather not talk about it here, though.
Fair.
Alright, lead the way.
Are there... Is there a significant badger population in Pugmire?
No.
No?
Badgers are seen as barbarians who raid,
Okay.
because they tend to.
Raid a lot.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just rats and cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Occasionally birds.
Birds? Hmm.
There are pirates with parrots on their shoulders.
I'm surprised, like, are dinosaurs known about?
They are in monarchies. They have a dinosaur statted.
Because I'm just wondering, why don't birds be like, no, we're not bird people, we're dinosaur people. We're descendants from dinosaurs.
I don't think they know.
That's what I assumed, but it's like, no, if I was a bird person and I knew, I'd be like, no, I'm not a bird person, I'm a dinosaur
Are
person.
there lizards in?
There are also lizards in Pugmire. They're traders, typically. So, you start moving to the southern wall. Bethany actually takes you to a surprising location. She is taking you to the Hunter's Haven. One of the oldest, it's the oldest tavern in all of Pugmire. It is the first one ever built when the city was erected. It is also one of the busiest taverns in all of Pugmire. As you enter, it is wall to wall with dogs, a few cats, and several lizards, speaking and talking about trade. As she goes this way, as you start moving through, and you see an old, gruff bulldog, a bit gray in the muzzle, with patches of white and brown fur, with a large bowl of ale. Welcome.
Greetings.
My name is Gregory Bulldog.
Nard Beagle.
Yes, I know who you are. Von Wrex. A pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
My associate has told me about your venture into the sewers and your... what is the best way to put this? Issues with a certain organization that seems to be rising to power at our eastern wall.
Very true.
I take equal issue with that group. And I wish to aid you the best I can.
Alright.
I have connections with the gods, as my family has for generations. And they tell me that the guards raided these sewers last night, based on your instructions. They found the area with the cages of the dogs you had saved. And the stairs leading up. The stairs that ended at a rock wall. Now, obviously, they assumed it was a secret passage. and they grabbed a ram to try and break it open. Do you know what they found?
No.
The streets. It broke open and opened up to the streets of Pugmire. There was no scene, no nothing. And that area is well traveled. So if there are rats popping in and out of the sewers, well, you'd think someone would have seen it, wouldn't you?
Where was it?
It was rather close to Mr. Meow's grooming.
Makes sense.
If there was one hidden passage, there might have been more that were missed.
Oh, it's in there.
Perhaps. I've heard those Rats of Labo Tor deal in strange magics. But right now, I would like to talk about. He looks around the retrievers.
Indeed.
I chose this location, and he's talking relatively quiet because of the high foot traffic. It is difficult to listen in to some who speak quietly due to the low roar of the crowd. There has been expansion of the retrievers lately. They have been sending agents to the stone quarter and the plastic quarter here, looking for recruits. Their views are still seen as abhorrent by the good dogs at large, but some are starting to be willing to look the other way. That they don't agree with him, but they are keeping the river wall safe. Poppycock! I say.
How much of the guard supports them?
That's difficult to say. The river wall guards at a higher proportion. But that's because they're the ones that the retrievers typically bribe with their fundraisers.
If the guard are bought off, how do you think we can get rid of them?
I've been starting to work towards to rotating some of the guards. Try and get the bad apples out. Get them into places where they deal with dogs and cats in a less hostile area. But that is difficult given the lack of guards recently due to the exploration up north.
Any idea what's going on there?
Man only knows.
We figured out that Terry was getting his supplies at the northern docks, some nice-looking merchant ship, but we don't know who is backing him.
No, I wouldn't either. Every noble that the retrievers have approached, and they have been approaching quite a few these days, have turned them down publicly.
Oh,
But-
at least that.
Some have likely started privately.
Any idea what his end goal is? Beyond cleansing the city?
Oh, that area's got quite the ambition. I think he's shooting to be a noble.
When did they start expanding into these other districts?
They have been for months now. But they made a real push after yesterday. Twice as many recruiters than yesterday.
That's why he tried to take the map. Terry needs a relic if he's going to become a noble. Then he'll have even more power.
A say in the council, and worse, when King Pug retires or steps down or man forbid, passes on, he could attempt to become king.
The princess at least seems to be on the side of justice.
She does, but the council may not vote for her to be the new queen. The council votes on the noble house. It changes between nobles based on who aligns best with the council. If Terry could leverage enough fear, well...
That's why he's using the rats.
Exactly.
How many in the guard are opposed to him? How many are on our side?
A significant amount, I would say. I would say that about no more than 10-15% of the guard are on his side. I would say about 25 are actively against him. But that leaves a large portion who are indifferent, and indifference is where corruption is allowed to fester.
Aye. So he's been creating his militia. How likely do you think it's possible to put together another militia? Concerned citizens wanting to protect themselves. Dogs, cats, rats.
I think it would take time. Terry's been at this game a long time. Years. He's only been leveraging events recently to speed up his ascension.
Alright. Well, if we can get the guard back from up north, that'll at least remove his excuse for expansion.
It will. It will. Though, he may simply just start having some of his men join the guard. Though that gives us at least a little more control.
Better the enemy you know.
Do the noble houses know
What's
going on?
Some do. It seems highly unlikely that they would not.
But how many of them actually care what's going on in the Riverwall?
Oh, some care, certainly. Once again, I'd say the ratios are about the same as the guard. What is the indifference that we have to overcome?
So what do you think? How do we take him down?
I'm just an old dog who's trying to do best. I'm not quite sure. My experience is on the battlefield.
Aye.
Stopping crimes that are active. They like to dance up to the law. But they rarely cross it.
And neither would you, I assume.
Correct. If I were to start breaking the law to try and bring them in, I fear that it would simply undermine our institutions and bring Pugmire into chaos.
Well, that's what they're going for anyways. How dangerous is he?
The Terrier? I've never dealt with him, but he carries himself with a bit of strength, and he does have some elites around him who clearly know their way around a blade. I don't think Terry is in any way a pushover. He can't be.
Is a disgrace to the name is what he is.
He's a disgrace to the city, is what he really is. But I've gathered you in this hour of need for another reason. One that is very important. When he says important, you see his big jowls flop up. It seems that in a week we will have an envoy from the monarchies here. It will be House Korat visiting. They will be working with some of us, and we will be trying to prove our strength to try and create a more mutually beneficial relationship, especially given the unrest in the forest. Apparently, things have been crawling out and causing pains for the monarchies as well. Korat has always been the least interested in working with the city. We need this to go over well.
And you think he'll try to sabotage it?
I think he doesn't need much to sabotage it, which is our biggest issue.
Restart the war?
Doesn't even have to restart it. He simply needs to make it so that our two nations stop working together. And that would give the unseen a foothold and would give his Pugmire is for the dogs rhetoric more credence.
What do you need from us then?
I need you to investigate the retrievers the best you can. You have been the most consistent thorn in their sides. And I need you to continue that trend and investigate. If you can find anything we can use to undercut their propaganda and their rhetoric so that we can fight an information war against them. That is what we need.
When House Korak gets here, where are they visiting the castle?
They'll be
They're gonna
visiting the
visit
castle,
king.
but because they will have to come up from the river, we will need to guard the river wall district.
And with a shortage of guards to boot.
Exactly.
Talk to Benji. If we can get citizens to keep an eye out, that may help. Or if we can distract them. Another incident like the frothing demons would be a disaster, but it might not necessarily drive the monarchies in Pugmire apart. They're gonna want something more pointed. They might even try a false flag.
I mean, we know how to create a distraction. Well, I mean, one that's not destructive. So if we want Terrier's attention somewhere else, we have ways we can do that.
Aye. His eye's gonna be on this, though. The bait will have to be pretty good.
Nobility sounds like a pretty good bait.
And what do you have in mind?
Perhaps,
We have a relic.
and perhaps we ought to reach out to a friend that I've made since I've come to Pugmire.
Sounds reasonable.
We've got a couple of people we can talk to.
Well, I'm sure Yosha Pug would be interested.
But we don't tell the Royal Society.
That's a good idea. Alright, Gregory. We keep hearing about what's happening up north, but it sounds like we'll have to leave that be for now.
Yes.
Keep trying to find out what you can see from your end. It's been a while since I've been in the guards, but thank you. It's good to know that somebody out there cares.
Lots of people care. Most dogs feel powerless, though. And most are driven by fear these days, given what's happening up north and the fact that Unseen ended up in our borders.
Brought here, no doubt. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Alright. Well, at least there are a few less Labo Tor cultists out there. And now, we have a better idea what to look for.
Indeed.
Tucker, Sheen,
Yeah.
Vesper, you have any ideas on the monarchies? On the Korat? Are they friends? Are they not friends?
Let's just say I'm surprised that House Korat is sending an envoy to Pugmire. Let me see what I can find from the cats in the city.
Do you think Korat would feel the same way about Mao and about dogs that Terry feels about Pugmire and cats?
I wouldn't say this if
Or are they just not very, what's the word? Extroverted.
I would only say this to you as we have gotten to know each other and come to trust one another. But I'd bet my paw that House Korat would be the first to fight if war were to break out. Their philosophy is to be ready to march wherever the battle may be. And I know they would love to prove their superiority to dogs.
So then, as you said, why would they send an envoy here?
It's surprising because, frankly, they're a family with about one brain cell to pass between them all.
You don't think they're schemers?
I don't think they're smart enough.
Hmm.
Although, this may prove me wrong.
Because if I wanted to start an incident, I'd find out which one of my enemies felt the same way I did. Then
Really?
I'd engineer us.
I said, really though. Sorry, you were.
This is
Oh.
not House Korat by themselves.
No, but
I've
could
got
they?
plastic on that.
In Pugmire today, though, they don't have to scheme. They just have to listen and hear that there are some voices that would like to stoke their kind of fire.
Oh, sure. Terry's getting his supplies from somewhere, though. What if it is the monarchies? What if somebody over there wants to foment unrest in Pugmire in order to restart the war? I mean, the logic goes, if they don't want cats here, they don't want dogs there. They don't want mixing and trade. Isolation cuts both ways. Terry's got more in common with the cat isolationists than he does with people who want a functional society.
I think we need to... I need to talk to the cats.
Aye.
I think that's gotta be step one.
Aye, we can talk to Benji, find out if he knows anything about when they're getting in. Maybe even give Whiskers a heads up, but I don't know how much we'll be able to do. If they are coordinating. They'll be looking for any excuse.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, I might be. I hope I am.
Well, but if they are coordinating, it's not going to take much to push tensions over the edge.
They'll have something pre-planned.
Perhaps it's time that the retrievers be taken head on and disrupted.
You're starting to sound like me.
We've been around each other too long. But we don't have the time to scheme. We don't have the time to figure out how deep this goes.
We don't have the manpower for a frontal assault either. And doing so would only prove his point anyways. As Gregory said.
We've got to disrupt them somehow.
Hey.
Like I say, distraction. You can't pursue all his goals at once.
Well, I'll start with the cats.
Okay.
Perhaps the Royal Society has heard something of this. We ought to check in.
But the cats are visiting?
They may know something about that.
Fritz has already told us that anything to do with the retrievers is on the down low.
The cats coming to Pugmire is not necessarily related to the retrievers, though.
But is it Royal Society business either?
We don't know why they're coming, what they're bringing.
You're the first cat to ever join the Royal Society. You should be there to greet your fellow citizens of the monarchies. As an envoy of the Royal Society. As a representative. And maybe we can get the princess involved as well. She could go down to the docks. In fact, what if we have the first cat to join the Royal Society, greet the envoys, showing the relic that she helped recover?
We don't want to start a fight in front of them.
Oh, we absolutely do.
No.
Aye.
That is the definition of this meeting going wrong.
If somebody tries, first off, if they were bold enough to try to steal it right out in the open, and then we could capture them and show that it was the retrievers trying to do that, we could demonstrate that it's not Pugmire that has a problem with the monarchies.
They don't
it's
need
them.
That's getting into the relationship is fragile enough. It doesn't matter if it's Pugmire or not.
If any of the envoys are
If
hurt,
something goes wrong, we have already hit the point of failure.
They're gonna have it. They're gonna have something planned anyways, regardless of whether the diplomats are in on it or not. If they are, something will go wrong.
That's true. We can't account for that. But purposefully provoking something there isn't going to help us achieve our goals.
Let's start with just information gathering. I'll talk to the cats. Perhaps our shepherd can talk to the church and see if there's anything that they've heard. The more information we can gather, or at least the more groups we can exclude from having something to do with this, the easier it will be for us to plan. I think we need to check in with the society, we need to check in with the church, talk to the chat, talk to the rats, go to the docks, whatever you guys want to do. And then once we've gathered a little bit more information, perhaps we can reach out to Yosha Pug.
Agreed.
Alright, so you were going to
Check with some.
check with some cats
I
in
almost
the
said-
ritual.
I almost said boo kitties. Yes, I was hoping to check with some cats, or where would be the best place to start? Mr. Meows? Or...
Mr. Meows would probably be
Yeah,
the
so
best. Also the old dog, since most cats end up there, since it's the most
friendly.
place in the excuse me.
I'll start at the old dog, just that seems the more natural. Go in, get a drink, and see who I can find.
Alright, perfect.
And I'm assuming I'm going alone for this. That would be the most reasonable. Unless somebody wants to hang out and make sure I don't get kidnapped again.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the retrievers' actual hideout. I think I'll be better suited to that than
Fair.
talking to people.
Yeah. Yes, let's definitely go with that one.
Alright. So, you head that way. And alright. Entering the bar, you see 4 cats, 2 rats, and about 10 dogs. None of them wearing retriever blue.
Are the cats sitting together or separately?
2 of the cats are together, and then there's the other cats are with the rats, actually, chatting.
I'd like to grab a drink from the bar and move to the 2 cats sitting together
Okay.
and sit down and ask them if I can join them.
Absolutely.
Not many cats out and about in the city today. It's nice to see friendly faces.
Sometimes you just have to sit down and enjoy yourself. Trevor Mogi.
That's Vesper, Catist.
Oh, still part of the Great Houses.
For now, yes.
Oh, this is Kathy.
A pleasure, Kathy. I'm relatively new, still trying to get my bearings. What brought you to the city, the 2 of you?
Trevor speaks up. Just tired of the politics of the monarchies. Just even being part of the Shadow Block was too much. So we decided to leave, and we decided to pick up. We actually prefer the communities here in Pugmire overall. It was until the retrievers started growing in power, even though we couldn't really get, high-paying positions. A lot of the dogs here believe in strength through unity, and that if one of us fails, all of us fail. And that's something that really appealed to me. Kathy, as she, I don't know what her reasons are, as Kathy goes, mostly the same. I got on the wrong side of a certain monarch and I decided to leave. And piracy is not a career for me. I have a deadly fear of the water.
A reasonable fear.
Absolutely. I mean, it's acid.
Sounds like the retrievers have been giving you a lot of hard time. They've been hounding me since I've come to the city.
This section's gonna be so choppy. Why are there so many cuts in this?
I'm sure he'll leave.
I'm good. No,
Oh.
see, now you're laughing and making me laugh.
Anyway. So, how about you, Vesper? What brought you out to Pugmire if you're still with your house?
Exploring, trying to better myself. I'm actually with the Royal Society.
Really?
The only cat right now, but I'm hoping to change that.
As Trevor turns and mock whispers to Kathy, she's gone more native than us.
You're not wrong. But I don't know if I'm long for Pugmire if the retrievers have their way.
Yes, they've been causing problems with us too. I stopped taking night positions and night shifts at my job because of them.
That seems reasonable. I try not to walk alone. I fear they'll take me. I've heard rumors that House Korat is coming to treat with Pugmire.
Really? Thought House Korat hated Pugmire.
It's what I thought as well. I'm shocked. Between the retrievers and House Korat, it seems like things will get very, very tense soon enough.
Absolutely. Wow.
When I said that House Korat was coming, was there anything stiffening, bristling of fur?
Yeah, they're taken aback, like
They're
wide-eyed.
surprised.
Yeah.
Now, the cat communities in the city, I mean, are people coming together in the face of the retrievers?
We're trying. We have plenty of dogs who've come to stand by us too.
Who's
But
taking charge of that? Who's helping facilitate?
mostly dogs. We're kind of we have a few canine friends, so to speak, who've been standing up for us and keeping us safe. There's a dog by the name of Anthony Anatoli who has been getting dogs to walk with us to where we need to go and stand up to retrievers.
And where would one find this Anthony?
Anthony tends to hang out at Mr. Meow's, actually.
Oh,
As that's the place that gets the most flack from retrievers these days.
I've avoided Mr. Meows for that very reason.
Yeah, him and a lot of his friends and some of his family offer to walk with you so that you feel safe.
Oh, I may have to take him up on that service. Certainly not safe to be a cat in the evening times.
Yep. He'll walk with rats and mice as well.
Have you had any run-ins with the rats? They seem to have been driven out of the city for the most part.
There's some rats still around. As you can see, as he points to the table.
These are the first rats that I've seen in days.
Really, they've been scurrying around and keeping a low profile.
Well, I can't blame them. I will make small talk with them until they leave.
Okay.
My ideal situation is that they leave before the other cats leave,
Mm-hmm.
and I can then.
Which they do. It's still light out, so they feel a bit more comfortable walking on their own.
Are the cats still sitting with?
The rats, yes.
I'm not gonna go towards the rats.
Okay.
What I will do, no. No, not gonna do that. I might stab one of them.
Do it. I mean, you were doing a good Palpatine impersonation earlier.
I'm trying. Really trying. Where's the rest of the group at this point? I'm assuming we've made an agreement to meet up somewhere.
Back at Scruffy's bar, I assume.
Yeah.
Well, so where you're at then?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's at Scruffy's. She went there first.
Yeah. So, are any of you there? Because, like, ideally, I would like a dog to go with me to Mr. Meow's to try to find Anthony.
I went to go check on the retrievers.
Yeah, you're checking on the retrievers.
You asked me to
Are you?
talk with the church, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I guess I'll talk to the cats and the rats while I'm waiting.
As you see,
Make it a natural kind of meander past him and join the conversation. Meander.
as one of the rats squeaks up. Oh, please, as he spins a chair for you.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be welcomed by somebody in this city.
Well, we were discussing some of our issues since, well, we're being lumped in with those rats in the sewers. Not a good thing, to say the least.
I hadn't heard much about the rats in the sewers other than that the guard dogs had swarmed. What happened?
They're part of some sort of fanatic group, thinking that they can torture people to become men.
Truly.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Seems like a harebrained scheme to me.
To say the least.
I'm Vesper, by the way. I'm new to the city.
Nice to meet you, as he goes. The one rat points to himself. Pinky? Yes. Yeah.
You do this to me on purpose.
one is a genius, the other's insane.
Please tell me the other rat's name is Brain.
No, it's Brian.
You weren't that one's Bartholomew.
Bartholomew?
Well, since he's a rat, be weird. It was pronounced that way.
He was adopted by a cat, and
That's okay. Another, and then the other rat at the table goes.
It was something I was given it.
Name is,
Brian.
and she goes, my name is Strawberry. And then the cat goes, Henry, Mogi. And the other cat goes, Timothy.
Are you affiliated with the house?
I prefer not to have any sort of titles to myself.
Fair enough. So tell me more about the sewers. I'm assuming the retrievers are hounding you after what happened with the sewers.
Oh, they've always been hounding us.
Have there been other incidents other than the sewer?
Yes, there was another case where the cult showed up. The police dogs handled it. It was before they were strained with whatever they're doing after they left this district to fend for itself.
When was this other incident?
Oh, about a year or so ago.
So this has been an ongoing issue.
The cult has always been around. Some rat gets it in his brain that he has to experiment on others, bleaches some of his fur, and well,
Have the retrievers been worse to you lot since the whole sewer incident? Because it seems like tensions have gotten worse.
they've actually, no. You know what? I would say it's been about the same. They've been coming down harder on cats, more so overall than us rats.
I wonder if that has anything to do with House Korak come to town.
Really? That's news.
I've only heard whispers of it myself, but it seems to be the rumor around town.
Well, good to know, I suppose. We'll have to keep an eye on. Maybe, well, if there's an envoy there, maybe the retrievers will leave us alone for a couple, at least for a moment, while we stand around and ogle feline nobility as he smiles at the two cats at the table. As Henry goes, Korat's coming.
Supposedly.
Huh. I used to be with House Korat.
Really?
Injured during the at one point heading to Waterdog, actually, on their behalf. I like the place, and so I stuck around, and then ended up moving north. Left House Korat, left the army, and left the monarchies.
I was shocked when I heard that House Korat was coming to town. It doesn't seem like them.
They are not a fan of Pugmire, for sure.
What do you think? Do you think anything has changed? It's been
Maybe.
a while since I've been to the monarchy.
The house, the war of cats and dogs is old. No one alive today has actually fought in it. Maybe they think there's something else coming. I know I've heard of monsters coming out of the forest recently. It could be that they want to show off to a larger audience of their combat prowess. Could be anything, really.
It'll certainly be interesting to see what happens.
Undoubtedly.
And I'll continue to just make small talk, waiting for some or at least one of my
As you
good
see
companions.
Bernard stepping in. Is he scruffy? Usual!
Yes. I will join Vesper.
As you join Vesper.
I'm assuming we've moved to our own table at this point.
Well, that's very possible. As next Tucker shows up.
Nope.
You show up at the bar. As you see your two companions, Scruffy's like, usual for you?
Usual.
Well, it'd be helpful if you ordered something consistently. What's today's usual?
Water.
Very well. As he throws up his hands in frustration. Bowl or mug?
Bowl.
Consistency. He's just grumbling under his. There's your bowl.
It is consistent to me. Thank you so much.
Listen, Tucker. I am tired of your standard outbursts.
So we're just waiting for Tagbard and Sheen.
So, meanwhile, at the east wall, the north wall, also known as the west wall.
West wall.
The west wall, or the religious quarter. Sheen and Tagbard go to the chapel of St. Anne to speak with the shepherds there. Possibly about relics to lure the back alley retriever. Oh, Brother Sheen, welcome. And your companion.
Yes.
You have so many these days. It's good to see that you're spreading the word.
Indeed.
Aye. Brother Sheen has saved my life a couple times.
And
That's
keep
good.
mine.
That's good. Perhaps you have even saved his soul.
Well, jury's still out on that one.
Oh, your other companion showed up not too long ago. He's in the library.
Other companion?
Yes, the stuttering one, the one who seems to not cause problems everywhere you go.
I see. He's in the library.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's nice to know. Thank you. Do you want to see what that's about?
Oh, I think we can continue this conversation first.
Okay.
Tell me, Shepherd, what's your opinion on cats and rats and dogs living together?
We're all children of man.
So, the church then generally doesn't agree with the dogs who would rather keep Pugmire just for dogs?
Correct. No. Pugmire was built to protect us from the unseen, and if others come, that simply means that we stand a better chance at thwarting those demons and keeping all of us safe.
And what, pray tell, is the church doing to support that?
Well, we will send church members with the Royal Society, especially when unseen or suspected. We heal the sick as needed, and we try and educate those about man and how man elevated all of us. And how the unseen drove them away, and that dogs tried to warn them, and that they shouted out into the night at the unseen, but man silenced us, and we simply lost our ability to see them until recently.
Because it seems like more and more dogs are starting to believe the cats and the rats shouldn't be here, that we're stronger without them.
That's a folly. And we don't agree with that. And to be honest, we haven't seen it here in the west wall, nor the north gate.
How often do shepherds get out to the river wall?
Somewhat often. We send inquisitors there sometimes.
Inquisitors?
Yes, to deal with the unseen or things we suspect have connections to the unseen.
What about the Rats of Labo Tor? The cultists, do you deal with them?
We have tried. They scurry in the shadows and rise up when you least expect it. It's as if they find any hole in the wall and simply come out of it.
Aye. There's dark times in this city.
There are, but we think we will do... We think that we will come together. Once we have united, there will be a glorious path. We will see what man intended for us. And we will all together rise up.
Aye, but we need to unite first.
Oh, certainly.
We can't just wait for it to happen. The Retrievers have united. They're united with the Rats of Labo Tor. They were involved in that. We need the church's help. You need to send inquisitors to the river wall, not just to investigate the Rats of Labo Tor, but to investigate the Retrievers. And we need shepherds actively encouraging cats and rats and dogs.
We actively do. But for the Retrievers, well, they are a nuisance. But we haven't seen them connected to the cult of Labo Tor. That seems like a very bold assertion. Do you have any evidence?
We have. Our friend was captured by them, taken by the rats, and she heard them talking with the Retrievers. They had been patrolling the docks.
She was captured by the Rats of Labo Tor. Could she have simply thought she heard something, given how dreadful those rats are to those they capture?
You know, for someone who opposes the back alley Retrievers, you seem to be spending a lot of energy defending them.
I simply don't want a war within our own walls.
They do. They brought those frothing demons here.
That is also a bold assertion.
So,
They're...
I'm sorry,
Sheen?
but I realize you're very passionate about this. So what do you feel is the most of our fellow shepherds' view of the Retrievers? Do you think they share your views?
Many do. They simply feel like their dislike is born out of ignorance or bravado. That it's, for the most part, harmless.
Okay.
That it will simply go away with the times.
So there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for here? Dang it.
Apathy, indifference.
Indifference, would you say?
I wouldn't call it indifference, but they wish to save many of the retrievers, and they think they can be saved. Most of the retrievers do hold up many of the ideals of Pugmire in their own way. They're simply misguided, and the church is willing to put up with some of that misguidedness because they can be saved, in our opinion.
I don't disagree. I think dogs get sucked in because they're alone, they're scared. They're as much victims as the cats and the rats. But Terry does not have the city's best interests at heart.
Indeed.
I'm going to roll sense motive to see whether he's being sincere or if
Okay.
it seems like he's...
Well, I shall roll it.
Oh, yeah. +4.
+4. That line, motherfucker.
Oh, he's full of shit?
Yeah.
Oh, pardon. And this is Brother who now?
This is Brother Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. And that was like your old tutor?
No.
Oh, no.
I don't think I have his.
He's one of the guys who guards the front. He switches out periodically
Right.
with the others.
Well, I suppose we just have to carry on then. Man will sort it out, won't he? I hear the cats are sending an envoy.
Are they now?
Aye. Yeah. Apparently, House Wrex has decided to strengthen the ties with the King of Pugmire.
Good. Very good, actually. That means that Pugmire will not have to worry about material matters and can focus on the spiritual, such as casting out the unseen in all of us.
Hey. Tell me, they worship man in the monarchies, right? Or do they...
No, they have heretical beliefs, but they agree with us that the unseen are a problem. Personally, I think that is more important than the heretical beliefs, but there are brothers and sisters here who disagree and that they wish to try and spread the word that man is a creator, one who elevated us because they are the divine rather than simply servants sent to the cats, which is absurd.
Have you ever been there?
The monarchies? No, I cannot say I have been.
Have any of their spiritual types visited here?
No. But the Mansers we've heard about, those who can rise and control the dead. We find that very interesting, to say the least.
Interesting.
Talk to artificers, they tend to believe that we can learn very much from the cats, and I'm inclined to agree, though there once again are brothers and sisters in the church who view the raising of the dead as the purview of man, only of man.
Right. But despite disagreeing with the heresy or the necromancy, they still believe cats and dogs can work together.
Yes, some do. Some very few think that cats and dogs can only work together once cats see the divinity of man. Otherwise, they are rejecting the powers we gain to defeat the unseen. And that while their hearts are in the right place trying to fight the unseen, they will be too ineffective until that happens.
Right. So like the retrievers. Misguided, but fundamentally waiting for illumination.
Not quite. The retrievers fundamentally believe that cats and dogs should never mix, versus my brothers and sisters who are in a disagreement with cats believe that cats and dogs can mix, but only when their beliefs in man come closer to alignment. And they believe that that can be done through teaching of the word.
But you had said that you felt the retrievers were simply misguided?
Yes. Misguided because they believe in the principles of Pugmire, but they miss the point when it comes to the other peoples of this world.
Mm.
So, slightly different.
Yeah. Well, shall we see what our stuttering friend is up to?
Indeed. Guess
Thank
we'll-
you very much, brother.
Of course.
Yes, our friend in the library.
Yes. No. I am asking, what is beyond the mountains? No, by no means. I don't need you to explain to me no one has been past the mountains and written it down.
By the way, your brother Jeremiah? He's lying.
Not surprised. I didn't expect to find much better than what's in the police dogs in the church.
I was hoping we could find something like Gregory. I was hoping the church as an organization might try to fight this. Because we need something. Can't just be us. Willard!
Oh, well, if it isn't you two, how are you?
Quite well. Trying to venture past the mountains?
Well, yes.
And what do you think is past the mountains for you?
Relics, my dear boy. Relics. And, well, I think all the monsters left past the mountains and are attacking Pugmire. So if I can sneak by them, I can get the relics and be a noble. And a hero. Because I'll have all those relics to defeat the monsters. It's a perfect plan.
Brilliant. You said all the monsters.
Well, at least a sizable chunk. Otherwise, why would whole villages disappear?
What have you heard?
Oh, nothing. This is the wise speaking as he taps on his head several times.
How are you planning on getting up there?
Well, a bit of sneaking around, I think, but I will try and get a boat to go that way. I just need to honestly play some honest cards and hope man is behind me to win enough plastic to pay for my charter. As boats going north are getting a little more expensive of late. But, how are you?
Good.
That's excellent. Where are your companions?
They're back at the old dog, asking around.
I've avoided the old dog for a little bit.
I noticed. Apparently we're having some visitors in a week.
Oh, visitors, you say?
Hey. Monarchies are sending an envoy.
Well, that is interesting. Very interesting. As you see his ears kind of fluff up a bit, and they give like a little flop. Would you be willing to tell me more?
Well, can I sense motive on him?
Yeah.
Like, why is he, what part of that interested him?
And +4, you said?
Yeah.
It interests him because he wants information, and potentially, if they bring guards, those guards will be at inns, those guards will have plastic, and those guards may want to play cards.
I think we found our distraction. Hey,
You probably shouldn't have even had to roll for that.
I didn't know whether there was whether
That's
he'd
fair.
switch sides or.
He's consistent in his awfulness.
Remarkably consistent.
House Korat.
Oh, well. As he gets a little nervous then.
You're familiar with them.
I have heard that they are good warriors. Mostly through some of these. As you see books everywhere, and you do see a librarian taking some of his books back and glaring at him as he has clearly not put back a single book that he has taken off the shelf.
Well, at least he's well read. Probably knowledgeable. Hey, yeah, we're thinking... It's strange, because the Korats haven't been the biggest fans of Pugmire.
True, I'm curious, do you think, as he looks down and he gets very gravely serious, as he looks around, making sure no one overhears and leans forward, Do you think their guards will be disarmed when they're at an inn? I am simply asking for personal reasons.
I doubt it.
I mean, I don't know, like...
It's not very safe place for cats anymore.
No, but it would also be... It could be interpreted as rude for them to maintain the weapons.
I suppose that's true.
So...
Will you be meeting these cats?
Don't know.
Don't think so, but...
Well,
That
it's
is
always
disappointing.
possible.
You always seem to be movers and shakers, and I simply want to see you rise to your greatness. And I simply ride on the coattails under your protection.
Aye. Well,
At least he's on.
you're still... You've been a great help. In fact, when you're out playing cards, if you pick up anything, if you hear any word about the Korats coming in, if you manage to meet any of their guards, wouldn't mind knowing what you happen to stumble across.
Of course. Anything for old friends. If they are following me for any reason, perhaps a slip of the tongue and I say something culturally insensitive. For while I am Willard the Wise, I cannot know every culture in the world and keep it all up here at any given time. You will remedy the situation, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, then yes,
we
absolutely.
can.
I will certainly look into it while playing some honest games of cards. So, Willard goes, I can do what I can.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
So where's your friend around here?
Philip?
I think we should find out what he knows and maybe inform him that his flock and his brethren might not all be on the same page.
Yes, Sure, you can go. Look for him.
So, as you're looking around, as one of the guards goes, Brother Sheen, I'm sorry. We should have told you sooner. Brother Philip went north with the guards to help aid them in the battle
Of course.
and their investigation.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course.
It's got to be a diversion.
Maybe.
Well, we should probably meet back up with the rest. We've got a week. I think we're going to need to head up there and at least find out what's going on.
What's going on up north?
Even if we can't solve it. We want to be back here in time for the Korats to arrive, but there's just too many leaves in the wind.
Yes.
So we'll head back to the old dog.
To head back to the old dog. As after you guys have been drinking around a bit, you see Sheen and Tagbard entering.
Just let me have this.
Scruffy, whatever you got on special
All right,
for
the begging preacher special.
You alright, Scruffy?
I've been stressed. Half my customers have been scared off. The other half are terrible monsters who'd scare them off.
Who?
The retrievers, of course. Where have you been?
They're keeping away your other customers?
Well, because they walk around the streets. All my good customers, the cats, rats, the odd down on their luck lizard, don't show up after night. Why would they?
What do you want to do about that?
Well, I would like to simply get through everything, keep my business going. I'm not a fighter. I am old.
You know a lot of people, though. Look, the guard is being infected. The church is being infected. we need to start pushing back. I think it's time cats and rats had concerned citizen militias of their own.
You think so?
Aye. And I think a well-loved, well-respected bar owner is just the man to spread the word. If we're going to get customers back, if the streets are going to be safe to walk around in, we need to push back on these blue fools.
Okay, I can see that. Well, I suppose we'll have to do some planning then.
Aye.
And we will see what kind of planning that is next time. Thank you to everyone who is listening. Be sure to check out the White Wolf and Onyx Path media page on Facebook. It's where we share a lot of our stuff, and there are lots of other great podcasts and actual plays up there that you should check out. Thank you. Bye.